Hey LEGO fans, and welcome back to MB Bricks, where we have an extremely special video to show you today. I've been working on DIAGON ALLEY for about 4 months now, and I'm happy to show it finally completed. If you have been following along all this time, thanks for sticking it out to the end, and if you're new here, welcome, and be sure to check out the other videos on my channel, including lots of other Harry Potter builds. If you like this build, be sure to let me know by leaving a like and a comment below, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos when they come out on Fridays. This is a full minifig scale of DIAGON ALLEY with complete interiors, so without further ado, let's take a closer look at this MOC. This MOC is about 6 feet long, and I have used a combination of dark tan and light gray to create the streets and road. I tried to give it an angled look and of course filled it with various wizarding shoppers. There are lots of street vendors in addition to the shops, and I will be showing each one. Starting on the right hand side, we will take a look at the Leaky Cauldron first. This was the first episode of this series and a fitting place to begin this tour, as it is the entrance from the Muggle world into the magical world. The entrance from the Muggle world is located on Charing Cross Road and has a fairly Muggle design to the building to blend in. Most Muggles do not even notice it. I have used a sign of a sleeping dragon to indicate the inn, and used a lot of brown and tan in this build, accented by gold and black windows. The other side has the entrance into the magical world, and you can see a young Harry here with Hagrid, who has brought him. Opening up the build, we can see Harry Potter taking his first steps into the magical world, accompanied by Hagrid and his pink umbrella. Many witches and wizards are looking over to get a glimpse of Harry, including Doris Crockford, who has stepped forward to shake his hand. I have built several booths and a large table beneath a chandelier hanging from the ceiling. The other side has a large bar with Tom the innkeeper standing there, waving at Hagrid, and Professor Quirrell waiting for his chance to meet Harry. A staircase beside the bar leads up to the second floor, where a few rooms host traveling wizards. I have placed a monster book of monsters on the second floor as a hint towards the third book. Just outside the Leaky Cauldron is a small booth with a fortune teller gazing into her many crystal balls. Professor Trelawney is a seer herself and is approaching the table to inquire about a reading. Behind there is the first shop after entering DIAGON ALLEY, which is Slug and Jigger's apothecary. This is a small and dark shop that doesn't look very inviting from the exterior, but is the place to be for all your potion making needs. Students can get their basic potion school supplies here, as well as of-age witches and wizards who may need more advanced potion ingredients. There is not much standing out with this shop, however a small glowing green vial is hanging by the front entrance. Opening up to see the interior, we can see a small shop filled to floor to ceiling with shelves covered in jars, vials, and bottles. Although dark inside, the brown floor warms it up, and gold accents give it an elegant flair. The main entrance has a checkout counter, and Professor Moody is there, buying supplies for a potion he is going to be using for most of the school year, as he begins his new job of defense against the dark arts. His eye seems to be intimidating the shop worker as he quickly rings up Moody's items. Basic potion ingredients are on these walls for younger shoppers. On the other side of the main floor, a witch is working on mixing ingredients to make a potion for a customer order. Her workstation is set up with several ingredients, and she is currently muddling away. The shelf behind her is stocked with partially used ingredients. These are not for sale and are used for custom potion orders. Following the stairs up to the second floor, we see a locked cupboard at the top and a few smaller shelves on the other side. This is where more advanced potion ingredients are kept, and students are not permitted in this area. Witches and wizards of age are allowed up here, and we can see Potions Master Horace Slughorn browsing at the shelves. Next up on our tour is an exciting shop, Quality Quidditch Supplies. This was one of the most popular stores in Diagon Alley, and you can see that by the large crowd of students hovering in front of the display windows, the one showcasing the newest broomstick. Signs outside the store show different wizarding teams whose merchandise can be bought on the inside, plus a Hogwarts sign above the main entrance indicates Hogwarts apparel is also sold here. A large red banner is up high and can be seen from down the street, and I do like the color combination of dark red and sand green used for this build. Opening up to take a look at the interior, we can see a pretty popular jam-packed store. As a favorite among students, this was a busy place while back to school shopping. Starting just inside the main entrance, we can see Ginny checking out a table full of bobbleheads of famous Quidditch players, and a checkout counter on the other side with two brothers from Hufflepuff buying a pair of Quidditch ropes. On the other side of the main floor, we see two mannequins displaying Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw robes. The shelves behind are stocked full of robes for each of the 4 Hogwarts houses, and atop the shelves are the accessories such as gloves, belts, and helmets. Malfoy has arrived to pick out his new green and silver Slytherin robes for the upcoming year. Taking the stairs up to the second floor, we see more Quidditch supplies. Harry and Ron loved to hang out at Quality Quidditch Supplies, as this was their favorite store, and Hermione was often urging them to stop browsing so they could finish getting their school supplies. Beside them is a barrel full of school flags, and behind them is a Quidditch starter kit that includes a quaffle, 2 bludgers, and a snitch. On the shelf behind them are brightly colored boxes that hold broomstick servicing kits. On the other side of the large room, we see another family checking out supplies. Several broomsticks are on display, including the Comet 260, Clean Sweeps, Nimbus 2000, and Nimbus 2001. They also sell used brooms. The opposite wall has a variety of different bats that beaters can use during games. Beside this exciting shop is a less thrilling store. Hermione always had a hard time dragging Harry and Ron away from Quality Quidditch Supplies to continue on to Scribbulus, the writing implements shop, where quills, ink, and parchment could be bought. While this place may not have students lining up to get inside, it was definitely an important stop to make before the start of school. I also like the color scheme of this building using the dark blue, dark tan, and light aqua colors, and I have used the official LEGO Scribbulus sign above the door. Opening up to see the interior, we can see a busy looking shop. Scribbulus was the store to go to if you needed ink, quills, or parchment, which are all essential to buy before starting at Hogwarts. On the main floor near the entrance, we can see the newest store item, color-changing ink, stored in an elegant gold bottle. 2 displays of parchment showcases the ink. Upset after meeting Malfoy for the first time in Book 1, Harry bought himself some color-changing ink to make himself feel better. Across the main floor is the checkout counter, and a twisting staircase leads up to the second floor. At the top of the stairs are some drawers filled with several different types of quills, from basic all the way up to self-writing. Squeezed in between the railing and the wall is a large roll of parchment. Buyers can unravel as much as needed and purchase by the length. On the other side, there are a couple of shelves stocked with several bottles of ink, and on the far right wall we can see a few hanging quills on display. The shop worker is currently showing Luna the special qualities of each quill as she decides which one to buy. Next to Scribbulus is another large store called Flourish and Blotts, which is the main bookstore of DIAGON Alley. It has all books needed by Hogwarts students, as well as a selection of books on advanced subjects for older witches and wizards. Two large display windows show stacks of books in the interior, and an hanging sign above the main entrance emphasizes the store name, while smaller signs above the windows indicate what's inside. Opening up to see the interior, we notice a scene from the second book and movie of the store jam-packed with witches and wizards from all standings, hoping to catch a glimpse and maybe an autograph from the amazing Gilderoy Lockhart. The main entranceway has a couple of bookshelves as well as a couple of books on display on the main walkway of the newest releases. Luna Lovegood is amongst the crowd, hoping to stand out by wearing her lion head headpiece. Across the main floor is where the checkout counter normally is, although it has been set up for the book signing event happening at the store. Gilderoy Lockhart is standing behind the desk, greeting his guests and about to notice Harry Potter in the crowd. He has just released his autobiography, Magical Me, and has a stack of books to sell just beside the desk. Mrs. Weasley is smitten by Lockhart, and already has a copy and has pushed her way to the front of the crowd. A Daily Prophet photographer is also in the mix of people, capturing the magical moment. Following the stairs, we come up to the second floor, where there are more bookshelves crammed tightly with books, and we can see Draco Malfoy standing above the balcony, looking down in jealousy at Harry Potter. The other side of the second floor is pretty much the same with the bookshelves, as well as several stacks of books messily shoved in every corner. Two crates in the middle of the floor appear to be empty, but are supposed to be carrying the invisible book of invisibility. However, these books have never actually been found. Just outside of Flourish and Blotts are two vendors, one selling snacks and the other selling high-end fancy purses. Madame Maxon appears to be taking a look at the purses, deciding on if she likes any. Next on our tour, we'll be taking a look at Madame Malkin's Robes for All Occasions, which is a clothing store supplying uniforms for school, dress robes, and everyday wear. Just outside the store, we can see the Malfoy family, including Draco, Lucius, and Narcissa, who have decided they are too good for Madame Malkin's and would prefer to shop at a more uppity store, such as Twilfit and Tadding's. Madame Malkin's was a fun build with popping colors, and I have hung some stickered tiles representing store signage. Two large display windows, one on each floor, showcases some new arrivals in everyday cloaks and more formal wear. A pair of scissors above each door indicate alterations are also done here. Opening up the MOC, we see a brightly colored interior. This shop is another staple store for witches and wizards attending Hogwarts, as they can buy their school uniforms here. The back of the main floor sees shelves of all different uniforms for each house, with a mannequin of each on display above. In front of the uniforms, there is a display of several different colors of dragon hide and chameleon skin gloves, pairs for purchase available in the drawers below. Across the main floor, we see the main door with the checkout counter wrapped around the display window. The far wall has several posters of the newest and hippest clothing, and there are several cloaks on display in front of the counter. The opposite wall has some fancier, formal dress robes hanging on display. Taking the twisting staircase up to the second floor, we see Harry, Ron, and Hermione in front of a couple more displayed robes, and an ornate chandelier hanging from the ceiling. Just on the other side of the room is where Madame Malkin does her alterations and custom-designed robes. We see her working with Malfoy as he is getting his new robes fitted for school, a scene from the 6th book where he gets angry when Madame Malkin tries to pull up his sleeve, and the trio suspects he has a newly acquired dark mark on his arm. This room has two alteration stations, both equipped with a podium, mirror, and supplies basket, along with her basket of different rolls of fabric. A small attic space is used for storage boxes. In the middle of Diagon Alley, we have the largest building, which is Gringotts, the Wizarding Bank. This is a very elegant building and is owned and operated by goblins, and the walls were made of white marble, accented by many gold embellishments. Just in front of the bank, Bellatrix Lestrange is talking to a suspicious-looking individual, although goblins do not discriminate against good or bad witches and wizards, rather appreciated true wizarding families. Bellatrix had one of the top security vaults in Gringotts in the farthest depths, guarded by dragons. In the 7th book, Harry, Ron, and Hermione escape the vaults of Gringotts on the back of a dragon, which I've included here, recently smashing through the glass dome on top of the building, stretching its wings and ready to take flight. Opening up to see the interior, we notice the white marble and gold embellishments continue on the inside, with wooden flooring to contrast it nicely. Several desks are lined up along the main entranceway for goblin workers, each equipped with a lamp and quill, and a large chandelier hangs down from the ceiling. Hagrid can be seen with Harry, a scene from the 1st book when Harry enters Gringotts for the first time and is both amazed and wary of the goblins and the bank itself. They have arrived at Griphook's desk to withdraw gold from the vault that Harry's parents left behind for him. The doors behind Griphook's desk lead to beyond the main lobby, where they can take carts down to the depths of the vaults. The vaults run many miles beneath the surface and are protected by goblin enchantments and dragons. Several torches protrude from the back wall, and more gold embellishments decorate the white marble. Continuing on past Gringotts, we are almost at the end of the alley. The next building we are going to look at is Magical Menagerie, the place to get all kinds of pets and supplies. The dark green and sand green gives a pop of color against the grays, and 2 hanging signs indicate the shop, one with a cat and the other with a cobra. This is one of the larger stores I have built, as it needed to have a lot of space for all the livestock and supplies on the inside. Opening up the build, you can see a very busy interior. The store was described as having wall-to-wall and floor-to-ceiling cages and shelves overflowing with pet supplies. Many different muggle and magical animals occupy the store, including cats, toads, rats, flobberworms, pygmy puffs, and nifflers. The main floor by the front door, we see Harry and Hermione picking out Crookshanks, who had been at the store for a long time, unwanted by anyone. There is a large tank with pythons on one side, and newts in the tank on the other side, shelves with supplies surrounding them. The other side of the main floor, we see Ron at the desk, buying rat tonic for Scabbers, who has been feeling quite unwell due to the stress of being an old rat, or because of a greater unknown plot unfolding. Behind the desk is a large shelf full of over-the-counter medications for different animals and ailments. To the right are small tanks occupied by several different types of toads. Following the stairs, we are led up to the 2nd floor, which is even more cramped than the 1st. 2 dragon-type creatures are standing on perches at the top, but not real dragons, of course, because they're illegal. And swinging sloths are beside the railing. The back corner houses some poisonous spiders and hanging bats, sleeping since they are nocturnal. In front of them we see transforming rabbits that changed into a hat and back, a pygmy puff that Ginny buys in the 6th book, and a baby niffler. Finally, the last side, we see cages holding scorpions in the back corner, rats who use their tails to play a skipping game, and finally a large jewel-encrusted tortoise in the back corner. All throughout the shop, cats are wandering around, batting at other animal cages, or cozying up for attention from shoppers. 2 female students, proudly wearing their brand new Hogwarts uniforms, are peering into cages on the 2nd floor. Just outside of Magical Menagerie is another vendor selling flowers. The small bearded wizard has a large selection available, and Mr. Weasley is asking Mrs. Weasley which ones she likes, while their children are off with friends shopping for school supplies. The very end of the winding street is the dark and dusty store of Ollivanders. While the outside lacks any sort of appeal, this shop is the best place for witches and wizards to find and buy the perfect wand. A small table has a display of a few boxes of wands, and a large sign protrudes from the building showcasing a swirling wand. Iconic rounded windows lead up to the top level, and gold lettering reading Ollivanders pop against the dull color of this store. Opening up the store, we can see the interior, which was described as being small and dusty, with a single wand on a purple cushion on display in the store window. We can see a nervous-looking Harry arriving to pick out his wand, and rows of shelves with wand boxes stacked haphazardly on them. The other side of the main floor, we see Garrick Ollivander, the current owner. He is quite excited, as everyone else is, to see Harry Potter, always wondering when the boy who lived would walk into his shop. He has chosen a wand for Harry to try out, with many more stacks of wands in boxes messily shoved into shelves behind the desk. The stairs on the left-hand side lead up to the second floor, where I have set up a wand-making area for Ollivander. The wall is decorated with many different types of wands, and his desk is currently set up with a phoenix feather and redwood. The other side of the loft has all of his supplies, including different types of wood such as maple, beech, and alder. The Ollivanders only use 3 different types of items for wand cores, including phoenix feathers, unicorn hair, and dragon heartstrings, which they believe to be the highest quality substances. Spinning around, heading back to the Leaky Cauldron, we are going to start taking a look at the other side of the alley. The first shop outside of the inn is Potage's Cauldron Shop, another small but useful store. A large stack of cauldrons is balanced haphazardly outside, and a small table showcases 2 smaller, newer cauldron models. Opening up the build, we can see the interior of this small and jam-packed store. Madame Potage is currently in the shop, although no customers are shopping at the moment. The main floor has several different types of cauldrons on display, including copper, brass, pewter, silver, self-stirring, and collapsible. The actual shop is only on the main floor, but there is a twisting staircase in the back right corner that leads up to the second half floor, which is used for storage. Extra cauldrons and random boxes are haphazardly shoved into corners. Beside Potage's is Eeylops Owl Emporium, a place that sells, you guessed it, owls. This was one of the first buildings I made for this large display, and I love the combination of colors used to make it. A single owl is displayed hanging in a cage, and several more can be seen inside the shop window. This was one of the taller buildings made, as I needed extra airspace for the free-flying owls inside. Opening up to see the interior, we can see the main floor has your basic owl supplies, while the second and third floors are open to showcase all the owls. On the right-hand side, we see a few shelves, the closest one to the door filled with bags of owl litter. There is a rotating kiosk in the middle that has a variety of different owl treats, including owl nuts that Harry and Ron bought in their 6th year. The left-hand side shelf has different quality bags of owl food, from a more premium quality to a cheaper variety. The other side of the shop has the checkout counter, with an over-the-counter supply of owl remedy items. The shop owner is recommending Might Be Gone to a customer. Following the winding staircase, you see the open second and third floors filled with different types of owls, including brown, barn, screech, snowy, and tawny. It is kept quite dark up there, as owls are nocturnal by nature, and several branches are hanging for perches. Hagrid is also on this floor, picking out an owl to gift Harry for his birthday, and it appears Hedwig has chosen Harry as he lands on Hagrid's arm. Just outside of Eeylops is a small vendor selling various crystals in different shapes, sizes, and colors. A mother is shopping with her daughter and is currently looking at a dazzling pink geode. Beside Eeylops, we can visit the Owl Post Office, a useful place to send letters and other things if you are a witch or wizard without an owl. I made this a smaller build as it didn't play much role in the books or movies, and I have used a golden owl with extended wings as a sign above the entrance. A live white owl has just flown by the front, a letter clutched in its claws, off to deliver it. Opening up the shop, we see a large clock faced above the front entrance to ensure delivery deadlines are met. On the other side, there are a couple of desks, with some letters being ready to send, aside a small candle. It appears Mr. Filch is working in the post office during the summer months he is not at Hogwarts. Behind the desk is a basic owlery with several different types of owls ready to go. Different owls were used for different purposes, such as how far distance the delivery was, as well as how fast you wanted it to be delivered. Next up on our tour is Florian Fortescue's Ice Cream Parlor, which was a popular place for shoppers to take a break and have a snack. This was a challenging build using limited elements in bright light yellow and dark brown, but I like how it turned out. A large brick-built ice cream cone is jutting out from the corner of the building that can be seen down the street. Harry and his friends are about to head inside and get some ice cream, and a large welcoming patio beside the ice cream shop has large pink umbrellas to sit under and enjoy your treats. Harry spent many days during the summer on this patio before the start of his 3rd year. Opening up the build, we can see a very brightly colored interior. The main floor has a large glass case filled with every kind of ice cream flavor imaginable, a milkshake machine on the back wall, bottles of chocolate and strawberry sauces, and some cones and bowls stacked by the window. Florian Fortescue is the owner of the shop, and he is standing in front of the large walk-in freezer, happily taking care of students as they stop in for a break from buying their school supplies. Following the stairs up to the 2nd floor, we can see a large dining area. Ron is currently here with his brothers, Fred and George. There are a couple of booths against the windowed wall, and another couple of tables in the middle, one with a dirty bowl left behind. I have also added a garden bed of flowers along the back wall to brighten up the room even more. Outside of Florian Fortescue's is a street vendor selling various wizarding hats. He has many different sizes and colors available, and a mysterious man is trying one on, attempting to blend in with the rest of the shoppers. A small dark alleyway is tucked between these two buildings, leading to Nocturne Alley, where dark magic artifacts were sold and suspicious individuals lurked about. Just in front of the dark gates are 2 sketchy wizards, Fenrir Greyback and Peter Pettigrew, probably up to no good. Just next door is the Daily Prophet offices, where the most popular wizarding newspaper is printed. I can imagine this place to be quite uppity based on the stories printed, and as such I have created some impressive architecture for this building. A large bin full of the day's top newspaper is on display outside the store, and a large Daily Prophet sign is hanging out to the street. Opening up to see the interior, we noticed a warm atmosphere with exposed brick wall and wooden flooring. The main floor is where you can slip in quickly to buy paper for 1 nut. Several different articles are currently for sale, advertised on a long shelf. There is a customer currently cashing out, although the cashier is eyeing him suspiciously as the man looks familiar. It can't be the wizard who's famous for breaking out of Azkaban, and whose face is plastered on the board beside him. The back corner has an owl ready to deliver the paper, and heading up the staircase we see a bulletin board with several notices. The 2nd floor has large windows on either side, and a couple of writing stations, each equipped with a self-writing quill and small candle. Between the 2 desks is a large grandfather clock, which ensures deadlines are met and articles are published on time. Competing for business is Xenophilius Lovegood, selling his paper named The Quibbler. While many thought the Quibbler printed rubbish or eccentric articles, some of the strange theories turned out to be entirely true, such as the return of Voldemort. His daughter Luna is nearby helping out, who is quite eccentric herself, but a good friend to Harry in the later books and movies. The other side of the Daily Prophet is another sweet treat place, Sugarplum's Sweet Shop. This store sold many different treats and confections to shoppers and had either in-store shopping or a quick pickup window where you can see a shop worker handing out a cauldron cake. This brightly colored store stood out on the streets of Diagon Alley with the light pink and magenta colors against the tan. Opening up to see the interior is another popular and jam-packed store. The main entrance is where the pickup window is, as well as the checkout counter for in-store purchases. A large shelf behind the counter has a large pumpkin pasties for sale. The other wall, hidden behind the ladder, is a shelf full of bags of Bertie Bott's every flavor beans. The folding ladder is used to reach the small loft where storage of extra treats are kept. The opposite side is a candy lover's dream, as there are many shelves piled high with sweets and treats. Several Hogwarts students are taking a break from school shopping to pick out some goodies. Lots of fresh baked goods as well as chocolate frogs and licorice wands can be seen alongside jars of candy in the back wall, including Drooble's Best Blowing Gum. I used the stickered panel pieces from the new Hogsmeade set to give a little extra detail in the back. Since there is no second floor, I just piled shelves as high as I could, the top items accessed by magic or the folding ladder. The shop at the very end of the street is none other than Fred and George's shop, Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. Despite being far away from most of the main shops, the Weasley's shop was one of the most popular in all of Diagon Alley. The bright purple and orange facade is very welcoming, and a 2-story high wizard with a top hat can be seen all the way down the street. You can see many students outside the shop, either just arriving or just leaving, as everyone wants some of the twins' joke items. Opening up the build, we can see a lot more of my custom work for this MOC in the interior. This was a very exciting store, and perhaps the busiest in Diagon Alley. Fred and George Weasley had quite a lot of customers while still going to school, so once they opened a shop they did very well for themselves. I have included lots of details, so let's take a closer look, starting with the front entrance. A shelf is piled high with Weasley joke boxes, and in the corner is a brilliant pink display of love potions. The twins came around to find Hermione and Ginny checking the potions out, although they claimed Ginny was doing quite well on her own. Opposite them is Harry, who is interested in the Peruvian Instant Darkness powder, which can be used to create complete darkness, unpenetrable by spells such as Lumos. It was actually used by Draco against Dumbledore's army in the 7th book. The rest of the main floor is filled with shelves of boxes stacked haphazardly, filled with different products such as skeeving snack boxes, decoy detonators, and You-Know-Pooh, which is a parody of You-Know-Who. Starting up the stairs, we can see a young wizard using Weasley sneakers to walk up the wall vertically. On the left-hand side, we see Ron Weasley taking a look at nose-biting teacups. When he asked his brothers for a special brother rate on the product, they in turn doubled the price on him. Across the balcony is another hodgepodge of boxes with more random items such as dung bongs and extendable ears. In fact, here is Malfoy with Goyle, testing out the extendable ears, and it appears he is listening to Harry's conversation about the Peruvian Instant Darkness. I bet that's why he had some on hand during the Battle of Hogwarts. Finishing off this side, hung from the ceiling is another favorite, Umbridge on a unicycle, which rides back and forth screaming, "I will have order!" Across the second floor, we can see even more jammed into every corner. There are balloons, dancing Doxy products, and many of their basic blaze boxes, which was a popular item. There are also containers of loose fireworks beside that shelf, and another shelf in the corner with beautifying products such as bruise removal paste and 10-second pimple vanisher. Even Dumbledore has decided to come visit the twins' shop, and I could see him amusing himself with some of their pranks. In front of the beautifying station is Lavender Brown, and she is waving to the nearby Ron, who looks shocked at the interaction. And that finishes off this complete tour of my Lego-built Diagon Alley from Harry Potter. If you have watched this to the end of the very long video, I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at all the individual buildings and all the details that were put into the street. I had so much fun building this scene, and I'm glad you have taken the time to take a look. If you would like to see more Harry Potter builds, I will leave a link in the description to a playlist of all my builds on this channel. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed as well if you would like to support this channel, as it helps me out a lot. Thanks again for watching this video today, and until next time, keep on building.